this fence.
Listen.
Jump it. Start coming up. Watch your toes. Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
Stop. Well, how many men?
No, I'm gonna go.
No. Promise.
Get shot.
I have nothing. My kids.
Grab his leg.
Ow. Ow. I'm serious.
Heyo, DSP projecting here. You thought this was a parody channel? I thought this was a parody channel, but upon closer examination of this footage, I think it's actually real. Besides the clear chemistry the two are sharing in the freeze frame on screen, I want to replay a certain section in slow-mo and zoomed in. That's right, a mobile game machine fell right out of DSP's pocket. It all adds up. So PPP got DSP's boxers off of him, as well as getting him all defense all in one move, but will he be able to capitalize?
Apparently my volume is low.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix it right now. I think it is
Fuck!
adjusting.
Fuck! The volume is low. It's a technical disaster, folks. What was I thinking there, folks? Getting on this show with Phil. He's fucking it all up. Fucking boomer Phil and his
There we go.
audio and technical issues. Fucking Phil boomering it up on OBS again.
It is remarkable that I can actually do this shit. Like, I was so far removed from tech for so long, and within like 1 month, I learned everything as quickly as humanly possible.
So
and-
look, here's what we're saying, brother.
Oh no, brother, he got PPP blocked by audio issues. It's cute though how when PPP and him have tech issues, it's so funny, but when Rich does it, he's a dunce. When PPP gets close to his mic, it's all good, but when Rich does it, when DSP needs a boom arm, he needs a boom arm, but when Rich does it, that always seems to be the case with Phil. It's not what's being done, it's who's doing it. And to keep up with all these mental gymnastics, Phil needs to do a decent amount of self-sabotage.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, Phil's fat.
Oh!
Phil has tits.
I have man boobs! Man boobs!
True, it's a man boob alert. Man boob alert. Phil, what's the deal, buddy?
Oh, I've been working
Yeah.
on them. You know, I've been taking lactation drugs, obviously, to build these suckers up. I'm trying to get to the other demographic, you know?
What's the other demographic, Phil? This is the man who never ever talks about the female body, but will joke around about man boobs with his man boob of a friend. So it's not men like them. Also, Phil doesn't see women as consumers, only as maids. And also, a woman wouldn't be attracted to boobs, right? So who could it be then?
You're getting on the hormone replacement therapy, Phil?
Of course.
Is that what you're telling me, Phil?
That's
well,
right.
We got to appeal to the liberal viewers somehow.
Oh, he wants to target people who are transitioning? Is that it? Women never give him money or Wolverine toys, so he doesn't care about them. But liberals who have decided to make those life changes, he's pretty adept at taking their money. And now Phil's laughing at them, the same exact way Phil hypocritically laughs at Rich. It's so blatant, even a cup of only iced coffee might notice it. That joke in my last line? I think it was tasteful. But will PPP have enough tact as me when he eventually one day makes his joke to Phil's dead air? And that's the beauty of these collabs. Phil nervously sitting there knowing at any second during PPP's rant about fat people, PPP could make another one of his famous Phil's wife is fat joke at any moment. It doesn't happen, but focus on Phil, you know what he's thinking about in this next clip.
I'm on what's called the Council of Obesity, Phil. And this is composed of people of calories. You know, Boogie's on the Council of Obesity. Wings is on the Council of Obesity.
Wow.
And I've been tasked to come here and decide if you, Phil, should be on the Council of Obesity. If you should be granted rank as a master of obesity, Phil.
So it's like you got Professor X, you got Reed Richards, you got Doctor Strange, all on the Marvel Illuminati Council, but you just have it for obesity on the internet.
It's
Gotcha.
kind of like we run things. We run the affairs of the obese. And, you know, if somebody obese steps out of line, it's pretty easy to take them out with the heart attack gun. Everybody's like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that fat motherfucker was probably due to die any fucking day now. Oh, Phil.
Even though I've watched that like 5 times now, every time I still think PPP is going to bring up his wife. He's a good entertainer. He made sure everyone knew what he could have been building up to, but then he doesn't. He needs the audience to come back, and at this point in time, believes he can get the audience to come back. Phil starts to feel safe. TP, that stands for Triple P, which is what I like to call him, will never actually make the jokes, so he'll get more comfortable. And one day PPP will have to fill the dead air somehow, and when PPP knows the audience has had enough, he will make that joke.
But it looks like you might have to lay off those hormones to get off the Council of Obesity there. You can't be a person of calories, Phil. One of us has to stay skinny and sexy. And it's sure as fuck not going to be me, Phil.
My problem is I have a habit of holding on to clothes like way too long.
PPP isn't gonna stay sexy and skinny. Phil, can you think of anyone else who isn't gonna stay sexy and skinny? It's odd. He usually never misses a chance to relate something to his own life in the conversation. But here, instead of doing that, he abruptly changed this witty banter to nonsense about his wardrobe not fitting. Imagine being PPP and this is what you have to work with. Or imagine being her and that's who you have to live with. Speaking of working with Phil though, look at the range of emotions PPP goes through in this next clip. He sets Phil up for a beg pretty smoothly. Phil recognizes the social cue and starts to do a relatively smooth transition. But then, just like Phil always does, he kills all momentum by giving unnecessary background. And the glimmer of hope is wiped off PPP's face.
A lot of people
What
don't remember it.
if we get $1,000 of support today? Will you take your shirt off, Phil?
I don't know, but hold on.
Hold
on, because we already have.
He's sexy. Okay, tell him about the $1,000 goal today.
Right, we already have a stretch goal. So our tier 1 goal is the 500, which is for us to watch AEW and to add that to our show for a week and see how it works. But if we have a stretch goal today of 1,000, and if we hit 1,000, we're going to try to do something really cool. All right, it's something
autistic.
Well, it's something that I used to do back in the day. If you remember, guys, anyone who used to watch my content now over the last 10 plus years, I used to do simulation matches in the WWE video games, and we haven't done it in a very long time.
Phil completely kills momentum twice in a row right here. PPP doesn't care about the 500s. Put all the attention on the 1K. Don't even mention the 500. Then again, with PPP's comment at the end about the idea, he'll spiral into another one-sided tangent no one cares about in this next part.
And Phil, I don't know how you'll live with that, to be honest. Having to admit, finally, that the detractors won, that you scammed or it could be Phil's moment of ultimate triumph, defeating Duty in the ring and leaving the detractors humiliated.
That's
leaving them humbled without a leg to stand on. It doesn't matter how many documentaries you put out against Phil. It doesn't matter how many animated drawings you do of Phil as Hitler or a potato or whatever. It doesn't matter how many 12-hour documentaries you put out about Phil faking his back pain. All that matters is who wins the DSP WF World Championship. Will it be Phil or will it be Duty? It's the most autistic, retarded thing that we've ever come up with. It's going to be huge.
If I were Phil, I would be nervous the whole time PPP is going to bring on a special commentator at the very last minute. But what I want to focus on is how Phil just sits there while PPP mocks their idea that was clearly only Phil's idea. The saddest part is, though, that this is some stuff Phil needs to hear and accept. Our content on him doesn't matter. He needs to have that conversation with a therapist, though, not PPP doing it only to mock him, not sincerely help him. PPP was able to successfully mock Phil's wow, his wife, and Phil himself all before the show even starts. The only person he hasn't alienated Phil from are his small tippers, but don't worry, PPP will get it done.
So we gotta get those donos going for the match next week there.
Let's go. We got a Big Kev did a $2 super chat and saying, what do you guys?
$2?
He says, what do you think about live streaming the Royal Rumble?
Well, not with donos like that. $2?
In reality, we wouldn't be able to live stream the Royal Rumble because WWE is so copyright crazy.
Well,
They're just assholes
could.
about it.
It's not lost on Phil that small tips do add up. Even with the trolls with stupid names, he still reads them. He knows if he cuts those off, he could be cutting off legit small tips, and he can't afford to do that, especially if PPP ends up spilling his coffee. And just like Phil does, he changes the subject. Does he do that at home with his wife too? Every time he senses the conversation is going somewhere he doesn't want, he changes the subject. She might put up with it, but I don't think PPP will forever, and one day PPP is going to switch the conversation right back to where I always think he's taking it. Look at the video again. PPP is helping DSP off the fence, but this is going to lead to isolation. When the PPP arc runs its course, what's going to be left? Hopefully my amazing audience. If you like this thought, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help in the algorithm. Deuces.